Peace be upon new followers the family channel. In this video, we will talk about the dirtiest trick in boxing history, which ended in a disastrous outcome. Let's begin. There was an Irish boxer named Billy Collins, known for his tremendous power, and he was very famous in the boxing world, where he won all of his matches. He did not lose any of them, and he had an impressive record of 14 wins without a loss, and 11 of them won by knockout, and he was a promising star, with a bright future. In 1983, it was decided to confront him with Luis Resto, who was a stiff competitor, but not as Billy. His record was 19 wins and 8 defeats, so everyone saw that Billy would win easily, and without problems, and the stands were full of fans, because Billy was so popular, and he came to watch the fight. The famous boxer Muhammad Ali Clay, who in turn wagered on Billy's victory. And when the match started, Resto did a great performance against his opponent, where it was much stronger than he much of what it looks like, and both fighters performed well in the first round, but Billy was surprised by his opponent's punches, and whenever he receives a punch, he is severely affected. The match continued in this way until the third round, as Resto began taking control of the battle, after giving his opponent a direct punches, so Billy's face began to swell, and he looked very tired. He told his father, who is his coach at the same time, that Resto was much stronger than he thought, and that his punches were like steel, and in the sixth round, Resto began to dominate the battle completely, as Billy's power decreased, and Resto started punching him hard on the rest of the rounds, and without mercy. Despite the pain, Billy continued the fight until the last, and at the end of the fight Billy's face became heavily swollen, and the referee announced the end of the match. Then Resto raised his hands declaring his victory over his opponent who had not lost before, and he came to Billy to comfort him. Then he kissed and embraced him, and he gave greetings to Billy's coach, and here was the surprise and shock. Because Billy's coach noticed that Resto's gloves were harsh and strange in shape, so he grabbed his hands, and asked the referee to check them. After the battle, the referee accompanied Resto to his room, took off his gloves, and sent them to the relevant committee for examination. Here was the shock, as the committee found that Resto and his coach removed layers of sponge from the gloves, and replaced them with cement, and the gloves became hard and rock-like, and this explains Billy's swollen face, where he was beaten by stone gloves along the battle. Resto and his coach were convicted of fraud, and Billy was taken to hospital to receive appropriate treatment for his face, and unfortunately it was found that he had suffered a serious rupture in the iris of the eye. Then he spoke about what he was feeling during the battle, where he said,
"It hit me, I could feel knots come on my head, and my eyes already started to swell about the fourth or fifth round, and I just couldn't figure it out, and he was some good body shots, and I'd never been hit like that before in my life."
Resto and his coach were tried for fraud and attempted murder. Because Resto was fighting with a deadly tool, they were sentenced to 2.5 years imprisonment, and Resto was denied a lifetime boxing. And the saddest part of the story, that Billy will not continue boxing, because the doctor instructed him to stop, because he would be completely blind if he continued, due to a serious injury to his eye, what forced Billy to retirement, and he at the height of his strength. This completely destroyed Billy's psyche, and displayed it for severe depression, and he started quarreling with his wife, and he started smoking and drinking wine, and it became he pours out his anger on his wife, which made her go to her parents' home. After 9 months of battle, Billy had a terrible road accident, where his car was completely destroyed and he was found dead inside. Billy is believed to have committed suicide after his extreme depression, because boxing was everything to him, and he was only 22 years old at the time. After further investigation of the case, the investigations revealed that Resto and his coach did not fill the gloves with cement to win only. It turned out that there was a third party between them, and he is someone who bet with huge money on the Resto victory. And after Resto was released from prison, he found himself bankrupt and deprived of boxing, so he rented a small room and spent 10 years of his life in it, and he seemed to have severe depression, and he wanted to go to the Bailey family, and that is what he said.
I want to see his family, Like, carry that thing in my mind. Always thinking about it. Always. Right night too. Be thinking about it for every day.
After 19 years of battle, Resto decided to go to the Bailey family, to apologize to them, in order to relax psychologically, and get rid of remorse, but the Billy family did not accept the apology. They expelled him from their home, and they threatened to call the police, if he did not leave.
Mr. Collins? We wanted to see, is Mr. Collins here? We'd like to talk to him.
Because their hearts are still burning on the Billy, and they did not forget the accident, despite the passage of years, because they knew that Billy was a promising star, and he had a brilliant future.